There's a simple way to tell if somebody's manipulating you. And this is typically a tactic that's used in psychology and psychiatry. And this is how we know if we're engaging with a manipulative patient or client, because this is something that we need to know. And if you have someone in your life that is manipulating you or you suspect is a manipulative person, this technique will allow you to know if this person is manipulative. So, the thing about individuals who are trying to manipulate us is that they're using our emotions against ourselves. So, individuals who manipulate will elicit certain emotions in themselves in order to create emotions in you. And that can be pity, that can be guilt, that can be shame. All of these emotions are very good at changing our behavior. And manipulation is essentially this: it's somebody else trying to control our behavior against our own will. And if you want to know if somebody's manipulating you, you really need to watch for the changes in their emotions. And I'll teach you how to do this. But essentially, what happens is that when somebody's trying to manipulate you, they're using their emotions as a weapon. And when somebody uses their emotions as a weapon, typically they're experiencing their emotions for much shorter times, and they're experiencing much more variability in emotions than someone who's not trying to manipulate you. And this is pretty straightforward. We know that when somebody is genuine, they typically are just in an emotion. Either they're feeling sad or they're feeling guilty or whatever. They stay in that emotion. When someone's trying to manipulate you and they're weaponizing emotions, then they will cycle through those emotions very quickly as a tactic. And if you watch for it, you can start noticing it in people who are manipulative, and that they're using emotions a little bit too quickly. Like they went from sadness to pity to guilt, like way too quickly. And you can elicit this change in them by essentially giving in to their story. So somebody might kind of be spinning this story about how they're such a victim, even though they're in the wrong. And you might actually start empathizing with them. You might say like, oh yeah, like I completely understand why, that is wrong and why you're, in the victim mode here or whatever. Like you can say whatever kind of contributes to their story and makes them feel validated. And then what you want to do is you want to kind of backtrack and be like, oh no, but actually, like, you should be accountable for this because this does seem wrong to me. And so watch what they do when you do this, because somebody who's manipulating you will switch very quickly to a new emotional tactic. So maybe they'll go from victim to anger, right? Like maybe they'll be in that space of trying to elicit pity from you, and they'll quickly straight go to like, no, it's your fault, and they'll be really angry at you. Or maybe they'll go into a completely new emotion, like they'll try to guilt you. And so this quick switch in emotions, when you kind of give in to them, but then like you establish a boundary, like, no, actually you should be accountable. This quick switch in emotion is the hallmark of a manipulative person, because people who are not manipulative do not cycle through emotions that fast because they're not using emotions as weapons.